Hi everyone. So in this video I will proceed with May 2020 Unit 1 Edexcel IAL IT question number 4. So the question is, a school is designing a database to record details of its student and the subjects they study. A student can study many subjects, a teacher can teach many classes. Our class is taught by one teacher. Okay, these five entities will be used in the database. So they already mentioned about the class name and also the type of entities that will be inside that classes. After that, here is an partially completed entity relationship diagram for this database. Complete the diagram to show. So they already put the boxes for the classes and it is a partially completed. So they said that when we put the primary key we have to provide an underline. For composite primary key also we need to provide an underline. Foreign key there will be a asterisk. Okay, and for the relationship, okay, and we have to also show between the relationship. So we just first we identify what is this, what is this database diagram. This one is entity relation database diagram. Okay, so the thing is here, what is a primary key? Primary key is actually something unique, like our name, that represent a table, a class. Like this one is a student. So student have a name. This class or this table have a name which is student ID that represent this whole class. What is composite key? Composite key, like we have a entity class, okay, and there is no unique ID. Composite key is when we add two primary key inside one of the classes, it makes a composite key. Like we have a student and teacher. So if we put here student ID and teacher ID, these two actually the other table primary key which represent these classes and make it unique. Student ID and teacher ID, this is called composite key. And what is foreign key? Foreign key is like we have a class and then we have a ID as well. Like for the class 1 we have class ID and we also need a teacher ID as well. We put it teacher ID. So this teacher ID is a foreign key. So when we put the other primary key ID inside the another classes, so this is represent a foreign key. So you guys can think about what is the difference between then composite and foreign key, because they are also taking the other classes primary key, right? When there is more than two primary key, that one is a composite key. But when there is one primary key, that is a foreign key. This one is also a foreign key as well, but there is no unique ID. But here we have a unique ID, so this one is become composite key. And when we talk about the relation, we have a relation about 1 is to many. So how we represent 1 is to many? Like this way. This one means 1, this symbol means many. Okay, so move to the answer then. So we have in total 5 classes, right? So the first class is here, he will be a student. Then we have a teacher class. This one is a teacher. After that we have class registration. Then we have a class. Then we have a subject. Okay. So if we come to the question, it's saying that a student can study many subjects. Okay. A teacher can teach many classes. A class is taught by one teacher. And this is the ID. So inside the student, we have a first name, last name, student ID, and date of birth. For the subject, we have subject ID and subject title. Okay, so complete with the student, last name, first name, student ID, and date of birth. Okay, so student ID, I put it in short, you just write the whole thing. So this one is a student ID. Then there will be a first name, then there is last name, first name, last name, and what? First name, last name, student ID as a date of birth. Okay, so the other one is date of birth. Date of birth. Subject have a subject ID and subject title. What teacher have? Teacher have teacher ID, last name, and first name. Okay, so for the teacher we have teacher ID, first name, last name. And for class, start date, teacher ID, end date, subject ID. Okay, room number and class ID. Okay, so that means class ID, teacher ID, subject ID. So class has so many things. Class ID, teacher ID, subject ID, end date, room number. Okay, so this one is end and room number. Okay, for the class registration, how many entity we have? A class ID and student ID. Okay, so for the class registration we have a class ID and student ID. Okay, so how we will put the relationship between these classes? So for the relationship, choose a purple one. Okay, so the thing is that one student can register for number of classes, right? So it will be like this. And one teacher can take number of classes. So sorry, this one will be like this. Then one subject have a number of classes. Like if I have a physics class, this class can take like at the morning, at the afternoon, or at the evening. There will be a number of classes. So it will be like this. And for the class and registration, so one class can be registered number of time. Okay, so then after that they said like what is the, for the primary key there will be underlined. Okay, so for the student ID is primary key. underline, right? Teacher is the primary key. Class ID is a primary key. Subject ID is also a primary key, because if we look around, we see that teacher ID is only uses here at the because it's a teacher ID, right? Subject ID. This one is the unique thing. This student ID as a unique one that represent this whole class, and this student ID cannot be null. Primary key cannot be null. So we identify about the primary key, then we move to compromise primary key. That one also need to be underlined. Foreign key, there will be star. Okay, relationship we already completed. So now we came up with the foreign key. So if we look here, is there any other ID there is taking? No. For the teacher also no. If I go with the class, I can see that teacher ID is here, right? And the subject ID is here. So this two is the foreign key. That means we put a star here. Okay, now you guys can tell me why this is not a composite key, because this class also uses two primary key. Yeah, it can be, but we have a unique class ID, we have a primary class ID, so we don't need these two is actually don't represent this one as a primary key, because we already have a unique things, and this one is a primary. Okay, for and last one is the composite key. So for the composite key, if we look around the class registration, we don't have any class registration ID, right? Similar like unique one, that is a primary key. So we have a class ID, that is the ID of the class primary, and student ID, that is the primary key of student. So obviously we are taking the two primary key of other classes here, that means this is a foreign key, so we will provide a star here. And this class don't have any unique key, so this is the two key that actually represent this class registration key, so that's why it is a composite key. So I hope you all understand, and if you have any query, please comment in the comment section, then I will try to give you the answer. Okay, move with the question number B. The school database will hold structured data. Okay, discuss why a relational database is suitable for handling structured data. Okay, so first we understand about the database type. So we have two types of data. One is a structured data. Structured data, that is a name, then text, right? Similar like the date. This is all our structured data. And for the and other one is unstructured data. Unstructured data is an image, then video, audio, all. So now we understand about what is the structured and what is the unstructured data. So okay, then move with the answer. So here the question is like, why structured data is quite easier with a relational database. Relational database means we have a key, right? Primary key, foreign key. With that relation, we are holding each of the data to other data, right? Each of the class to other class, like the way we complete our entity diagram, similar like that. So it's because it's readable by machine, like machine can easily read it. Okay, so this is the primary key, it represents this class, this is a primary key, it represents this, something similar like that. It is using a simple algorithm. Like when we write the code, it can be easily maintainable with a simple algorithm. We don't need to put like highly algorithm. Like for the unstructured data, image or video, the algorithm is quite complex compared to this one. And these things, this relational database is a long term, like over 40 years they're using, so it is quite popular and most of the people can easily catch these things, and there are so many tutorial that people can go through. There are a number of books, they can understand it. Okay, and besides that, this reduces data duplication. Like we have a key, right? So on each key we are actually identify, okay, if there is any data duplication, that it can easily catchable. After that, it allow linking of tables, like two table can be linked by primary, foreign, similar like that. And obviously it is a popular, and beside that, non-technical people can easily learn it. So if some of the company want to hire some database specialist, is more costly. So if they want to hire someone from non-technical background, they can hire them at a cheap prices if they uses this relational database. So this is the answer. So I just provide you. Yes, so this is the answer of this question. It covers 6 mark, so you guys go through it. I already explained about all the thing that is written in this answer. So okay, move to question number 5. So question number 5 is about a data flow diagram. Okay, so the thing is that what is a data flow diagram? Data flow diagram is giving us a, about a overview of a system, like how it will work. So it will not go to the depth. A simple diagram we will draw, and from that we can easily catch, okay, how the system will go through. So the question is, a transport company runs bus services on several routes in a large town. Okay, the company has an IT systems that provides passenger services at bus stops. Okay, so bus stop including a scrolling display. There will be a scrolling display, and that gives details of the next 3 buses that are due to arrive. Okay, a contactless card terminal with a touch screen that allow a passenger to add credit to or check the credit card remaining in a card. Okay, so there will be a display touch screen, something like that. So when they will touch the card, they can see the remaining balance, and beside that they can also pay the fee for the transportation. Display and transaction are handled by the company server. Okay, so the company server, they are managing the what will be the display and how the transaction will be holding. So real-time information for each bus location is provided by. So what is the meaning of real time? Real time means a similar example of a WhatsApp or a messaging, like whatever we do now, instantly it go to the other people, like instant it will show you the result. This is a real time example. Buses connecting to the company by 3G signal, and buses reporting their current location as they pass each bus stop. Okay, so the bus are connecting with the 3G signal, so when they are passing the bus stop, it automatically taking their location that they are here or something similar like that. So we have to create a data flow diagram for that one. Okay, so data flow diagram, I just give you a short thing, what each thing is represent. This thing is called entity. Entity, like we have now, we have a bus. This is can be the entity. We have a passenger, right? This is also entity, like type of noun. Then there is another thing, another diagram for the processing. Like if I want to buy something from Amazon, I have to click on the buy, right? When I will buy, it will process something. So for that one, we use this diagram. This means system is processing. Okay, and for the file, like for the Amazon, when we click on the buy button, what happened, it will go through the server, then it will go to our card and check, right, that how much balance we have, is it match with the product that we are buying, we do we have enough money we can buy or not. So how much money we have, what is the money is lefting, all these things they are taking from like there is some, go to the database of our card, and from that they get the information where all the data is stored, right? So that type of thing is represented by this, similar like a file where all the information is safe. So I hope you understand about what each diagram represent each thing. So continue with the diagram then. So they say that there is a bus. This is a bus. Okay. So what will happen? Bus will generate the report, position report, like where, when we will get the bus, we try to identify where it is located. Bus position. So this is the processing. How it processing? It is working, it is going to the system, it is generate position report. And bus position is sending to the database, like the file. So here we are sending bus position file. Then it will be similar like that. Okay, then we have display, right? There it will show the next 3 buses. Oh, sorry, this part will not be here by the way. Okay, so this one is generate display for next 3 bus. So here it will display. It will display how it will take the information from that file and give it here. So from here the bus is sending the bus position to the database, and from the file it's sending the bus position to the display. Okay, so after that this one is this display information is seen by the passenger. Seen by the passenger. So here will be the passenger. Then there is another option, like they can use the card to pay the bus fees, and also they can see like how much their balance is remaining. So for that one we have another processing. That one is a query credit card, like they will check their card balance. So for that one, what the passenger will put, they will provide card ID or card information. I just short put card ID, right? It will put the card ID to this one, and it will generate, and then it will provide the credit left on card. Okay, so for this one actually, how much balance is left, this one also have a file similar like that. So this one is card transaction file. So here file. So here it represent, like here it holding all the information about the card, and there is this one is actually getting the what is the remaining amount is left. There is other one, they can pay the fees. So that one is add credit to card, they can recharge as well. So for this one same, they are providing the card ID, right? Here the query card. So from here it is providing the card ID, because we don't need to go through this, because we can use this query. So when they are providing the card ID, from this they can show how much left, credit left on. This one actually will be here. And when they want to pay, they won't use this part, they directly provide use this one. So what they will do, they will give the card and payment information, card ID obviously, and how much they will want to pay, payment information. And from here this system will give the payment confirmation that payment is successful, or if payment is not successful, it will also return that payment failed. And beside that, new credit information, like how much credit left, that one. And this is the one. From here it will provide the card ID and payment information, card ID and payment amount. Like when we are asking about the query, then it will only send the card ID. When we are giving the amount number as well, that time it will provide the payment information with card ID. So from that time, when we send it to the from the file, it will send to the add credit, new balance and amount on card. Sorry about the diagram, I hope you understand. So this is an example of a data flow diagram. Okay, so then move to the next question. So explain why a data flow diagram is useful when planning an information system. Okay, so I already give you a little bit information, like why it is important. Like data flow diagram give us a upper view of the system in a short, so we don't need to go through in depth and to understand what is happening with the system. And this way a non-technical people can easily understand what is happening, what will be the happening with the system, how the processing is ongoing and all these things. So the answer will be, so this is the answer of question number B, which is a DFD shows a top level view of the plan system, making it easier for people to understand the way in which data will be proceed. Okay, so let's continue with the question number 6, which is a scrap metal company wants to extend its business into the disposal of IT equipment. Okay, some of the company's director think they make most profit by shredding everything and using a furnace to extract the metal, and that are then sold. Okay, shredding mills, they actually melting all the metal and then they will create a new one. This is the shred and smell system. Okay, other believe that they will make more profit by adopting and reuse a recycle system. Okay, so the another thing is they can use a recycle way. So and then selling item or part second hand. Evaluate the advantage and disadvantage of a reuse and recycle system compared to the shred and smell system. Your evaluation should include environmental considerations, data security implications, and your conclusion. Okay, here is the answer. The answer is embracing a reuse and recycle approach in waste management hold notable advantage and disadvantage. Obviously, for the reuse one, these have some advantage and obviously disadvantage. So especially when compared to the more intensive shred and smell methodology, when we are comparing this to the renewal process. Okay, so from an environment perspective, the reuse and recycle approach obviously provide more advantage, because there is no pollution, because when we are melting a metal or plastic anything, there is chances of pollution, right? However, a critical drawback lies in the potential environment impact of the remaining material, which may be challenging to dispose of properly. Like if we reuse, like that means there will be a more material, and plastic, this type of things are not easily disposable. So this is one of the disadvantage. Economically, if we think about, the reuse and recycle approach offer new revenue streams, such as the resale of working or repaired item and the internal use or reuse of material within a company. Okay, so they can repair or reuse it in the company or send it as a second hand. Nevertheless, this comes with the downside of increased startup cost, as companies need to invest in new facilities and establish efficient logistics chains to support recycle initiative. Okay, so besides some of the advantage, there is some disadvantage. They have to increase their cost. to support the recycle initiatives. And then regarding security implication, the reuse and recycle approach may raise concern related to data security, because when we are using the metal or the database or whatever the hardware as a reuse thing, there's a chance that the data of previous owner can be remain there. Whereas if we do the shred and smell method, the advantage is that it, when we have melted, it dispose all the data. But however, the thing is that we have a data protection law, so maybe we can proceed with it and handling through the recycling process. So in summary, adopting a reuse and recycle approach offers environmental benefit by reducing pollution and creating new revenue streams. So that's it. This is the answer. Please subscribe to my channel. Maybe next time I will. I'm working on Unit 2. So after this video, within 2 or 3 days later, you guys will get the answer for Unit 2 as well. Yeah. Thank you for listening.